drills, the Browns offense going up against the Browns first team defense, the quarterback competition is very much going to reveal itself.
Shedeur Sanders just flipped the NFL on its head, and he did it before he ever threw a single professional pass. While teams were scrambling to sign overhyped first-rounders to bloated $100 million deals, one fifth-round rookie made a quiet move that could change the league forever. Not with brute strength, not with touchdown stats, but with something the NFL isn't ready to handle. Ownership, brand power, and total control of his name, image, and audience. And what he's calling prime equity. Yeah, that's not just a flashy phrase. It's a direct threat to the way every single NFL player gets paid. This isn't just a contract, it's a revolution. And the league, they never saw it coming.
The only thing that matters, his real legacy, it's not the business, it's everything that he has taught his children.
When the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders with the 144th pick in the draft, most fans barely noticed. The spotlight was glued to the usual suspects. First-round quarterbacks with shiny contracts and headline hype. But in the shadows of those flashy signings, something strange was happening. Because what looked like a routine rookie deal, a 4-year contract worth $4.6 million, was actually the opening move in a game no one realized was being played. While other rookies were just praying to make the team, Shedeur stepped into the league like a man with a plan. Not just to play ball, but to flip the entire script. Because he wasn't coming in as just a quarterback. He was coming in as a brand, as a media business, and as a disruptor. And the Browns? They didn't just draft a player, they bought into a blueprint. But what was really inside that contract would have the NFL sweating bullets. So what exactly is prime equity?
Shedeur Sanders was on the field. He was the star quarterback. He was featured on national television every week.
And I think that's incredibly unfair to the young man.
It's not a stat. It's not a playbook. It's not even officially recognized by the NFL. Yet. But it might be the most powerful concept the league's ever seen. At its core, prime equity is the idea that an athlete's value isn't just what they do on the field. It's what they carry off of it. Their audience, their influence, their content, their story. Shedeur didn't walk into contract negotiations hoping for a better locker or a little more guaranteed money. He walked in like a startup founder, pitching a media ecosystem built around himself. He's not just getting paid to throw passes. He's getting paid to exist as a cultural force. That's the move nobody expected. And that's why the league is panicking. Because if prime equity catches on, contracts won't be about performance. They'll be about presence. And for the NFL's old guard, that's terrifying.
Well, he's not the only one who would like to put a cap on it, but right now there's so many issues.
On the surface, Shedeur's contract looked like any other mid-round rookie deal. But buried in the fine print was something no one had ever seen before. And when it leaked, front offices across the league reportedly went into full-blown panic mode. Prime equity incentives and media rights addendum. Yeah, it sounds like legal jargon until you realize what it actually means. If Shedeur racks up 10 million views across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch during the season, he unlocks a $2 million bonus. Not for throwing touchdowns, not for making the Pro Bowl, just for doing what he's already doing, building his brand. But it doesn't stop there. He keeps 100% ownership of all his behind-the-scenes content. The docuseries, the vlogs, the Twitch streams, the NFL can't touch it. They don't get a cut. They don't get a say. It's his. He also secured 20% of any team merchandise that features his name or personal branding, something no rookie has ever pulled.
I think the information that was out on Shedeur Sanders came from a lot of people that a lot of people trust and people think that are credible. I also think that Deion can't believe and doesn't believe that his son would do some of the things.
And then, the wildest clause of all, a media equity match option, giving Shedeur the chance to co-invest in the team's future media ventures. That means if the Browns launch a new content series, docu-partnership, or branded campaign with him, he gets a stake. This isn't a football contract. It's a tech startup deal in cleats. Ownership, revenue splits, media control, all from a fifth-round rookie. And now, the question isn't why did Shedeur ask for all this? It's how many other players are about to do the same. The NFL has always played by one rule: control the narrative, control the game. But Shedeur Sanders just tore that script in half. Most rookies walk in grateful, hoping to survive training camp, earn a depth chart spot, maybe lock in a decent bonus. Shedeur walked in already wealthy, already famous, and already commanding millions of eyes. He wasn't begging for a platform. He brought his own.
These aren't end-of-the-world transgressions, though they obviously could be life-threatening, not only for Shedeur, but obviously for others.
While other players were prepping media responses, Shedeur was dropping high-production YouTube vlogs, hopping on Twitch streams that felt like brand launches, and turning Instagram lives into full-blown fan events. And the worst part for the NFL? Every single second is monetized. Shedeur doesn't need the league to build value. The league needs him to stay relevant. The NFL's biggest fear? That he's just the beginning. Because if every new athlete walks into the draft with their own audience, sponsors, and brand voice, then the teams lose their power. And that old model of we own the spotlight, you just play football, it's officially dead. Shedeur didn't just make a power move, he lit the fuse. Across college campuses and locker rooms, young athletes with massive NIL deals and loyal fan bases are watching every move he makes. Because if Shedeur can pull this off, getting paid for both his performance and his presence, why shouldn't they?
To figure out why this young man slid from we all thought he was going to be at worst.
For years, going pro meant leaving behind the millions some athletes were already making through brand deals and digital content. But now, Shedeur's flipping that logic on its head. Why give up the business you built in college just to be grateful for a basic rookie deal? If NIL was the warm-up, prime equity is the main event. And here's what scares the league the most. If more rookies demand media bonuses, content rights, and merch splits, the entire contract system collapses. Franchises lose leverage, agents rewrite the playbook, and suddenly the players start looking less like employees and more like partners. Because Shedeur didn't just negotiate a better deal, he exposed just how outdated the current system really is. And now, the floodgates are about to open. This isn't just some feel-good story about a rookie betting on himself. This is athlete ownership in real time.
The league done him wrong. League tried to teach him and his father a lesson.
When Coach Prime, aka Deion Sanders, said, "We don't sign contracts, we build legacies," it wasn't just a punchline. It was the blueprint. And Shedeur, he's following it to the letter. He's not chasing Pro Bowl votes or SportsCenter highlights. He's chasing equity. He's building assets. His YouTube, a revenue stream. His docuseries, a brand builder. His merch, a direct-to-fan empire. And here's the difference. None of this relies on touchdowns. He could get benched tomorrow and still cash out six figures in views, drops, and sponsorships. Why? Because he owns his name, his image, and his narrative. No middleman, no gatekeepers, no waiting on airtime. This isn't empowerment, this is independence. And the league, they've never had to deal with that before. If Shedeur's model catches fire, NFL franchises will have two choices: evolve fast or get left behind.
Now, I think we're all trying to figure out and piece together why that happened, but I got no problem with Deion defending his son.
Because this isn't just about contracts anymore. It's about infrastructure. teams won't just need scouts and GMs. They'll need content teams, brand managers, and media strategists. Why? Because the athletes are becoming full-blown platforms. The power is shifting. Players like Shedeur bring their own audience, their own reach, and their own hype. They don't need ESPN. They don't need press conferences. They can fire up a stream, drop a behind-the-scenes video, or sell exclusive merch and reach millions instantly. The NFL used to own all that. Now, not so much. And here's the craziest part. This model doesn't just threaten rival leagues. It threatens YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, even the networks. Because if Shedeur Sanders can generate more engagement from his bedroom studio than a televised game on Sunday, that's a problem.
We're not as good individually, but we're better collectively.
The Browns didn't just draft a quarterback. They signed a one-man content empire. And for the NFL, that might be harder to defend than anything he does on the field. Shedeur Sanders didn't walk into the NFL to chase someone else's legacy. He came to build his own from the ground up. Not just through stats, but through strategy. Not just with talent, but with vision. He's not just playing the game. He's changing the rules entirely. Prime equity isn't a catchphrase. It's a movement, a model that turns athletes into CEOs, players into platforms, and legacies into brands that outlive the game.
Painful point here is Shedeur's not in Boulder anymore.
And the wildest part? Shedeur is still a rookie. He hasn't even scratched the surface of what this could become. But the league? They're already scrambling to catch up. So if you're wondering whether this was a one-time stunt, just wait. Because what Shedeur Sanders started could redefine sports as we know it. And something tells me he's only just getting started.